I mean, with your experience, what do you think about this whole funding space, all these new prop firms that are coming into the space? Are they going to survive? And what should somebody, like if somebody wants to really go out and experiment, should they really be doing these challenges and what to really look out for? Like
Basically, a couple key notes there is that with these new ones, they are way less likely to be able to pay you out, especially if you earn a large payout. Because what a lot of these new ones doing, not saying every single new one does this, but what a lot of new ones do is they don't actually back the traders, unfortunately. Because they're smaller, they don't have the capital. That's very resource intensive. You actually want to back traders. And if you're a very small company, you're simply not able to do it. They may even want to do it, but they just can't.
Okay. Welcome everyone to another episode of Traders Talk Podcast, where we sit down with some of the best traders in the game. Today I have Blake. If you guys don't know who Blake is one of the co-owners at the Funded Trader program, and he also owns a YouTube channel called Trade Connect VVS, which is actually one of the first channels I found on YouTube when I was on my trading journey about FTMO. I think you had a couple of videos about FTMO. I think it's one of the original channels to actually make content about this subject. And now he's actually one of the co-owners at the Funded Trader program, and also a new prop firm called Smart Prop Trader. So we're gonna get a chance to hear a little bit about Blake's story, which we already heard about in the last podcast, but we're gonna get some insight into sort of the funding space, some of the new stuff that's going on with TFT, and this new prop firm of yours. So how's everything going, Blake? How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome, Blake. So I think a lot of people actually know your story. We've had you on before, but do you want to kind of just maybe summarize a little bit, give a little bit of backstory for the new listeners, you know, how you kind of got started with trading and how you got introduced to this funding space, if you want to summarize it?
Sure. So basically, while I was in college, I actually got introduced to Forex and eventually became a trading educator. I started my own education company. And then from there, I made more YouTube videos about the space, pretty much to get more clients basically into my education company. But I ended up doing really well with prop firms personally. I ended up making some videos on it. Some of the FTMO ones were my first ones in the prop firm space that you saw. And from there, it kind of expanded and blew up on my YouTube channel. And so I just kind of dove into that even deeper and deeper and deeper until it became my only subject on my YouTube channel, Trade Connect VVS. And then from there, it was very natural for me to start my own trading company with some partners, which is the Funded Trader. And then very recently started another one as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like how you kind of became the specialist on YouTube, because I think you were like the first person to interview My Forex Fund, or like one of the first interviews we heard with My Forex Funds and a bunch of other prop firms, some of them which turned out to be scams as well. Exposed that as well. So there was a lot of great information coming from YouTube, from your YouTube channel. But I think now it's been about a year and a half since you've actually been ownership in the funding space. So with that being said, I mean, one of the questions I got in Discord was like, there's so many new prop firms popping up, right? Like left, right, and center. There's actually, like, I get sent like 3 every week almost, right? And one of the things that I keep seeing in my Discord is people have this urgency or this tendency to try them out. Like, I don't know why people want to step away from the big 3 or 4, the Funded Trader program, FTMO, My Forex Funds. We already know they pay, and that's what you should stick to. But it's almost like people have that shiny object sort of thing where you want to just try something new. I mean, with your experience, what do you think about this whole funding space, all these new prop firms that are coming into the space? Are they going to survive? And what should somebody, like if somebody wants to really go out and experiment, should they really be doing these challenges and what to really look out for? Like, what is your thoughts on?
So basically, a couple key notes there is that with these new ones, they are way less likely to be able to pay you out, especially if you earn a large payout. Because what a lot of these new ones doing, not saying every single new one does this, but what a lot of new ones do is they don't actually back the traders, unfortunately. Because they're smaller, they don't have the capital. That's very resource intensive. You actually want to back traders. And if you're a very small company, you're simply not able to do it. They may even want to do it, but they just can't. So a lot of the new ones aren't even doing that. So therefore, if you make a large amount of money with one of those companies that aren't able to back traders, then you're gonna have a conflict of interest there. And if you make too much, they might not want to pay you out, and they might come up with some other reasons. And there's so many other things that could come up with some of these smaller ones. However, with the bigger ones, they're able to back you, and a lot of them, even the ones that aren't, they're able to rely on the rule of large numbers, so they're able to pay you out no matter what, anyways. So it's much better to go with the tried and true ones, the ones that are proven for the most part. And I definitely see the appeal for these newer, smaller ones. They usually have more very competitive rates and other aspects of them that are very competitive, which is why people like to try them out. And I definitely understand that. Be very, very cautious if you do decide to do that. I definitely don't want you to spend your last dollars on those new
100%.
ones. It's much better or so if you're tighter on cash to just go with the tried and true one.
I've heard some really crazy stories. Like people send me messages and screenshots. I'm not gonna name any names. A lot of like weird stuff going on, scamming, people not being paid out, people's accounts being positions being put in when there was almost profit time for them to take profit, or that it was like time for them to get a payout. And I've actually experienced it myself with one prop firm as well. But I think the best thing you could do is probably stick to the best ones. I think I mean the Funded Traders program has been doing amazing. You guys have been literally listening to the feedback of the community, and everything's been an improvement. And I've seen one of the top 3 kind of actually going the other way, not really improving. They're actually doing something not working. The spreads, people are really complaining about some of even the top 3 companies has been an issue in slippage with some of the companies, but TFT's been doing really good. So let's talk about TFT for a second. I saw that you guys first it was the standard challenge, but then you guys moved so quick. I didn't even notice this. The Royal and then the Rapid. So I always wanted the 8% target. I didn't even know it was there. I didn't even know the difference. I found out about the Royal like much later, and now I'm so I've switched to I actually just passed the Royal challenge today. I passed phase 2 today with the TFT, so that's really cool. Did you guys add all of these other ones to kind of meet the requirements of what traders were sort of speaking to you guys about? Like, we want lower targets, and then is that how these different challenges came about? And is there any plans for adding instant funding with TFT?
That's a lot to unpack there. So basically, we started off with just the original one, which was kind of one of the first, not the one of the very first companies out there to have the 12% max loss, which people really liked, and that was awesome. And also a 6% daily max or daily loss as well, which people really liked as well. And that was our cornerstone. That's how the Funded Trader grew so quickly, so big so quickly. And then we decided to add in 2 other ones. We decided to add in the Rapid and the Royal. The Rapid is the one that has 0 minimum trading days. If people want to get funded as quickly as possible, they should definitely go for the Rapid. If they want to use EAs, unfortunately, just the way that the Funded Trader is working on the normal ones, they're not able to use EAs, but they are able to use it on that one, which is why that one was introduced. And it also has some other different rules with that 8% target as well, and a couple other things that traders can see as being very beneficial. It really depends on the specific trader in mind. It's not good. None of them are the best for every single trader. That's why there's a collection of all 3 of them to hit as many niches as possible within the funding trading space. They're all traders do very well on all 3 of these accounts. In terms of instant funding, yes, there is something in the works as well. And it's going to be completely, going to be very, very competitive. Going to be, in my opinion, from what I can see so far, it's going to still be the very most competitive instant funding in the entire industry.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys haven't really been listening to what people have been saying. I think a lot of people were asking for instant funding as well. Can you just I know the standard challenge. What's the main difference between the Royal and the Rapid? What's the real main difference there?
So the big difference between the Rapid and the Royal. So the Royal allows EAs and has and the Rapid has 0 minimum trading days. Okay. So it really depends on the speed aspect or more of the if you need EAs.
But no EA on the Rapid, right? It's only on the Royal that you can. Okay.
Right.
Cool. So there's lots of different things that you guys can pick from, and you guys can find a link in the description below where you can get 12% off if you're looking to do a challenge with the Funded Trader program. Now, one of the questions I had from one of the members in Discord was, the processing time after a payout is usually a couple of days, and the account doesn't get reset. Is there any reason why it takes? Is there any chance that it's going to be faster moving forward after the profit split? It takes a couple of days for people are asking if they can get a reset quicker after the profit split date.
That is definitely one of the main focuses of the Funded Trader, is to advance the speed on which everything is being performed. Because it is such a large company at this point, there's just so many traders all the time that are doing this and earning payouts. So it's just quite a lot of work on our end to make sure that everyone's legit, everyone's getting paid out, and everything is going smoothly. We have to verify all the information manually, just to verify everything to keep the company in good standing and afloat, basically. That's very, very important to the company. So we are adding more staff all the time, and that the numbers, we are planning on making them go down. But of course, that does take a lot of work and will take a little bit of time.
Yeah, and I think one of the recent improvements was the Trade Hub, like the new website, and everything is kind of controlled through the portal. It's been really cool to use that portal. I think that was a really good thing to come about now. Since you've kind of been in the space now, let's talk about, like, we all know it's not easy to keep a funded account. It's obviously not. It's hard to pass a challenge, but it's also harder to keep it, especially if you're risking 1%. Do you know what is the longest amount of time somebody's actually kept a live funded account with TFT?
I don't know the exact specifics on that, just because that's not what I focus on within the Fund Trader. However, I do happen to know that it's very long. It's more than 6 months for the bet.
Okay, let's talk about the trading aspect of it, because your start was you were trading, and then you were making content about it. You passed a bunch of FTMO challenges. You even got really great payouts, which were one of your best videos that I liked on YouTube. So I think you can answer this pretty well. Do you feel that doing phase 1 is different than doing phase 2, and then the live account should be traded differently? Like, do you feel like your risk management strategy for phase 1 should be different than phase 2? And they should be like basically traded differently?
Definitely between phase 1 and phase 2. The main difference there is that usually you have double the time limit on phase 2. So therefore you should be taking half the size trades. You should be taking longer, and that way, if you are, it should be very, very easy. It's called verification. It means that it's basically that you've already proven yourself. Just continue to prove yourself a little bit more, just so we can make sure that it wasn't a random fluke. And that's really the whole purpose of that. And if you just do that, you'll have the best chance of success. So you should trade it a little bit differently, just by showing that you have the discipline to lower your lot sizes by about half, or maybe even lower than half, because you have so long. And then for the funded account, you should also trade that differently. That should be more similar to the phase 1, because on that one, the most success I've seen is when people treat it like the phase 1, treat it the exact same, because they used that to pass and got the biggest amount of capital gain. So continue to do that for your funded account. And what I've seen is that's the best strategy.
Right. So that's how basically you're going to be getting your a big payout. Pretty much that's how people are getting their big payouts. And then now in terms of people failing challenges, right? What do you think is one of the main reasons for people failing challenges? Is it education, excitement, or is it the attachment of money that people can't afford to lose? Because I feel a lot of people these days are taking challenges that they shouldn't be taking. Like they said their last $500. You should be taking like a 10K challenge or something smaller, something you can afford to absorb the loss. Do you think it's a mix of everything, or do you think there's one that's like more stands out more to you?
Definitely a mix of all those things that you said. And I also think that it's really just a lack of discipline is what it ultimately comes down to. I think traders that aren't disciplined will just randomly put on a big lot, or like they'll get frustrated on a loss, and they'll try to revenge trade, which as we all know, that does not work. That's one of the very worst strategies you can possibly do. But unfortunately, we see that quite often with.
So I saw there was some amazing stuff that you guys had going on. You had that Tesla giveaway going on for the World Cup. That was really cool. The Trade Hub has been amazing. Some really amazing discounts have been coming out. And a lot of people are like so much payout proof. One of the other questions I remember somebody asking me was, do you guys plan on adding, I believe your smallest challenge is the 25K, correct? You guys plan on adding the 10 and like something lower, or are we just going to see the 25 and above?
Now there's no plans on adding the 10K, but we definitely are highly considering it. The main issue with that is that there is a lot of fixed cost when it comes to giving out accounts and all the tracking software and all the technology that we have.
Yeah.
Where based on the account cost alone, it's just fixed. So we'd have to charge a little bit more. It wouldn't be the same rate as the 25K the scale down. It would definitely be a little bit higher than that if we did, but we are considering it. And if the community really wants it, we are open to listening to the community for that.
All right, so let's talk about your new prop firm, man. Congratulations. So Blake's actually has a new prop firm. It's called the Smart Prop Trader, and I'll leave the link in the description below if you guys want to check it out. It's got some really cool targets, but let's have you kind of explain the difference between that and the Funded Trader program and kind of summarize this new prop.
So I'd like to start off by saying that both of these prop firms are absolutely top tier, and they're also very different in terms of what the trader should be looking for with each of these two companies. Where the Funded Trader is looking for a very particular type of trader, this one's looking for a different one. So for Smart Prop Trader, it's more of looking for traders who are interested in getting funded very, very quickly. And we do that by two different ways. Number one is that the traders are only have a 7.5% profit target, while having 0 minimum trading days on both phase 1 and phase 2. And we also are one of the very fastest in the industry for once you pass phase 2, it can take weeks sometimes for some other prop firms. Smart Prop Trader is really good about giving it the same day or next day. And then also 14 days until payout from your funded account. So you can get paid very, very quickly with Smart Prop Trader, which is one of the main reasons why people like it so much.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's really everybody's talking about is number one, the 7.5% target. Amazing. Phase 2 is 5%, correct? So minimum trading days, meaning if I place one trade today and I hit 7.5%, I just move on to phase 2. Is there any consistency rules to these days that anybody should be aware of, or in the FAQ?
Absolutely no consistency rules at all. A lot of people ask about high frequency trading. That's really the main only practice that's not allowed.
Okay.
So as long as you're not high frequency trading and you're not doing any really hard process or any process that takes advantage of the demo environment,
okay,
or the whole process as a whole, then you're good. So yeah, EAs are all even allowed as well, and there's no sort of consistency rules or anything like that.
I think one of the things that was being discussed today in my Discord was it was a little confusing about so the bi-weekly, because it says something about you can change your bi-weekly date 3 times. Like so if somebody gets funded today, they can get their first payout in 14 days, or do they have to first month wait for the full month? How does all of that work?
14 days. So from today, you place your first trade today on your funded account. 14 days from now, provided that you're in profit,
right,
you can have your profit split on that day.
Okay, and then there was something that stated like you can change your profit split date.
So basically, if for some reason you want to scale up your account, or if you want to let it ride for a while to get a bigger account, we don't have to pay you on the day. It actually is up to you. You can choose that you as a trader are able to choose when you're able to get it at least 14 days out, but it can be more if you wish.
Awesome. So you guys heard it, 7.5%. There's no consistency rules. You can literally be funded in, I think, 3 days at that point, or until you sign the contract and get it back, whatever, right? So I mean, it could be pretty damn quick is basically it. So if you're looking to get funded really quick and you believe in yourself, I think this is like a really good option. Again, I'll leave the link in the description below. Now, are we going to be expecting the same kind of spreads as TFT, ACAP? Is that all going to be the same commission wise?
It is very similar, yes. Okay.
So similar trading environment, basically. Like we'll have access to good spreads and all of that stuff, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of like the payout systems, like will there be a portal for people to like do everything automated, apply for a payout, or are you guys still working on that?
Yeah, so we're for now at least, and we plan to continue this up as well. We're very quick on the payouts. It's all done through Deal as of right now. We're also planning on adding Wise in the very near future as well, which are the main 2 platforms that traders love to be paid out through. Okay,
cool. And then so how long ago has this been launched for, and has anybody actually been funded at this point?
So it's actually been around for about 3 months now.
Oh, wow.
That it's been out. However, it was quite a small soft launch.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk about it or anything at the beginning. I wanted to make sure that it was good on its own before I ever attached my name to it.
Right.
I just wanted to see how it would do essentially without that. And then later on, I made my big announcement on December 1st, of course, where I had the whole Santa outfit and everything. I'm sure you saw the video. But that was kind of the whole aspect of how it became what it is today.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. There's some really good targets that are going to be able to be achieved there. All right, cool. Thank you for all the information. Now, since you are involved so much in this funding space, and you I'm sure you get some stats, you get some info about people passing, people failing. Is there any advice that you would give to traders that are looking to basically in 2023 get funded and actually make some kind of money from this space? Like, instead of just losing money, they want to actually be able to, because, times are kind of tough. We're in the sort of recession phase. If somebody wants to, get funded and make money, what are some of the best sort of pieces of little advice that you give to somebody that's looking to do this?
I think you should value the time that you're given. So both the funded trader and smart prop both have longer than average durations for the challenge phases. You should take advantage of that. You should use nearly the whole amount of time, but don't abuse it, of course. Don't wait until the very last second to make all the profit, but space it out so that you are trying to make consistent money, but smaller amounts throughout the entire challenge period, instead of trying to pass it all same day. Now, we have seen people do that. Actually, with SPT, we've actually seen people pass both phase 1 and phase 2 same day, get their funded account the same day that they paid.
All right, cool. Awesome piece of advice there again. So guys, if you guys want to check out Smart Prop Trader, the link will be in the description below. The funded trader program, we have a 12% discount as well. I'm sure we'll be able to put a link for a discount with Smart Prop Trader as well.